Hi, welcome to Diamond Custom Paint Shop. In this video, I'm going to go over how to mix and spray epoxy primer sealer. We're going to be working on this hood here, this aluminum hood. I got this from Lime Line. So I'm going to go over all the process. We're going to sand this down all the way to, I'll show you how to mix the epoxy primer, and I'll have a video in there of me spraying it. So yeah, let's jump right into it. So the products I'm going to be using are from Lime Line. We got everything here. We have the, from this side over, the panel prep, which we'll be using to prep the panel. We have, of course, the epoxy primer, part A and a part B. I'm going to be using some glass cleaner, some spray away glass cleaner. This is just some, cheap glass cleaner you get off Amazon. These microfiber towels, which you can get from Lime Line. I'm going to be spraying it with Lime Line's Pro spray gun. This has a 1.4 tip, and I'll show you how I set my gun up and all that. Pretty simple. We're going to be using Lime Line's 180 grit sandpaper to scuff this down. And then back here we have Lime Line's disposable paint cup system here, and then the a sanding block that these round sanding discs fit on. So okay, so let's start from the beginning here. Let's go over the epoxy primer. So I'm just gonna kind of read off the can a little bit to you on some of the highlights of this. So the surface preparation, it says here, to wash, make sure your part's clean, wash it with soap and water. Then wipe the area with wax and grease remover, which is what this panel prep is. This is a wax and grease remover, and we'll be using that. I'll do it before I sand, and I'll do it after I sand. If you've seen my videos, you like to see I like to clean my parts a lot. And I do that because I've had problems when you don't clean your parts all the way, and you have a little piece of some grease on there, something from your fingers, and it's not fun. So anything I can do to keep from having that happen again. So I like to clean my parts a lot. So and then it says here, prepare and prime bare metal with appropriate self-etching primer. We're not doing it. Then it says aluminum and stainless steel must be sanded with 180 to 220 grit sandpaper, and then the primer must be applied within 72 hours after you sand it. And this one, as you can see, it has sanding marks on it, but I sanded this like a week and a half ago, just kind of was scuffing it down. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to scuff this down again, and because it's aluminum, you're going to do it with your 180 to 220 grit sandpaper. So that's a good note there to know there. I didn't know that before, but yeah, to do it within 72 hours after sanding. So and then once we mix it, you're going to mix this 1-to-1, and I'll show you that. I'll show you how to mix it 1-to-1 with the part B activator. Induction, there's no induction time required. Reduction. Once catalyzed, epoxy primer can be made into an excellent sealer by reducing 10 to 20% with appropriate temperature urethane reducer. So we're not going to do that today. We're just going to use that as epoxy primer and not the sealer. So and then you're going to it kind of gives you some air pressure adjustments out of your spray gun. I can tell you right now, I'm going to be spraying at probably. Usually I have my gun set up to spray at 26.5 psi. So we'll see how that works. That's why I think I've done it in the past, and it works out pretty good. You're going to apply 1 to 2 wet coats. We'll probably do 2 coats, allowing 15 minutes flash time between coats. And then allow 30 to 60 minutes dry time before applying additional primers or top coat, and then allow to dry overnight before applying body filler. Now that's one thing that good sentence right there. That's one thing to note. If you have like a motorcycle tank or whatever you're doing and it needs some body repair, you want to seal it first with the epoxy primer, and then do your body work on top of that, meaning your Bondo, your glazing compounds like Dolphin Glaze. And the reason you do that is because you want to seal the metal first, so then when you put your Bondo on, that has that barrier there, so nothing can get underneath your Bondo and start, lifting it away. Water and moisture get underneath your Bondo. So that's why you want to seal your metal first, and then put your Bondo and stuff on top of that. I know I thought that was kind of weird when I first learned it. I always thought you would do your body work right on your metal, but after it was explained to me, it makes a lot more sense. You don't want your Bondo or any of that sitting right on top of the metal. So that's the last thing you need is moisture, which is, you see in old cars, it's famous for, Bondo getting underneath there and starting to crack away and stuff. So that's good to know there. And then allow 30 to 60 minutes before, doing additional like high build primers, or if you're going to go right to base coat. So I'm going to wait. I'm going to do this, and I got another project I'm going to work on. So it'll be tomorrow. It'll be 24 hours before I'm going to do a high build primer on this. And so stay tuned for that video. I'll do a video on the high build primer, kind of the same as I'm doing now on this process and doing that. So that gets the primer out of the way. And like I said, we're going to clean with this panel prep. Let's move on to the spray gun. So pretty simple on mine, how I set it up. So I'll turn the needle adjustment, how far your needle can come back, your trigger here. So I'll just kind of hold my trigger back, and I'll turn this in until I feel it touch the, that your needle touches your handle there. So, and then if you turn it more, you feel it kind of push your handle up, and I'll just turn it back a little bit just so it touches. So that's called wide open on your needle adjustment there. And then my fan adjustment, turn this all the way to wide open also. And then on my air down here at the bottom, that gets turned to wide open. So pretty easy. Everything's just full wide open. And then I let my fingers and everything else, adjust the air pressure at my gauge up there and to do the rest. Like I said, 180 grit sandpaper. So let's get started. Once I get to mixing the epoxy, I'll kind of cut it and kind of zoom it in a little more so we're right here on the action, and so you can actually see the cup as I'm pouring it. So we'll do that. But first, let's prep this thing. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. So we'll move this stuff kind of off to the side here, so you can get a little more room here and you can see what I'm doing. I can just put this off to the side. We'll get a piece of sandpaper out of here. How many come in here, I'm not sure, but as you can see, quite a few come in there. See if it says on this. And it probably says on the website when you order it how many come in there. There's a lot there, so it'll last you a while. And if you're interested in Lime Line products, go ahead and look in the description below, and there's a link there. You can go ahead and click on that link, and you can get 10% off Lime Line products. I am part of their affiliate program, so I do get a small kickback from it. But go ahead and check them out. You won't be disappointed. So let's see. We have a piece of sandpaper. All right. And then I really like these blocks because you can use these, and you can use these on your DA. They're made for the DA sander, but I like these blocks because you can use them, on a sanding block without any discomfort, if you want to say. It just goes on there, it Velcros on, and then it's on the block for you. So first, let's get some panel prep. And then I'm going to spray both sides of this with the epoxy primer. So Oh, I still got to drill. I'm going to drill a couple little tiny holes on these corners. Number one, so it can be hung up afterwards after I get done with this project. And two, so I can hang it up to be able to spray both sides of it. So yeah, we'll be doing both sides. So we'll take our panel prep. You just make sure you give it a good shake. Just do a, just like you're going to spray glass cleaner on. Take a microfiber cloth, and if you haven't seen my videos before, I really love these rolls of microfiber. They're really awesome and handy. That's one of my favorite things from Lime Line. Probably my favorite things from Lime Line, is, to be honest with you, that just makes your life a whole lot easier, is these microfiber cloths, and the spray gun cleaner is by far my two favorite things from Lime Line. I really like all their stuff, but those are, if I had to pick two, that would be it. And the next one in line would be this panel prep right here. And then probably should do a video on this, and then the fourth one in line would be the looks like this Rao can of high build primer. That stuff's really awesome too. So let's do one more time, especially when they're brand new. So you can, from when they cut these, they use oil and stuff. So you really want to make sure you get bare metal parts clean. Like I always say, if you're working with bare metal, go overboard on your cleaning, what you think is overboard. Because if you've ever had a adhesion problem, it's not fun, because it'll usually happen and when you're almost done with the project. You'll pull tape off or something, and then you'll have, as you can see right there, you can see the dirt on my finger, where you can see my handprint really on there from just wiping that down. So and that's just them handling it, and when they cut these out at the machine shop or wherever, they use oil and stuff. So one more time. And with this, when you're doing this step, a lot of times when you get to your final steps, you want to kind of wipe one direction. So if you're wiping stuff, it kind of wipes it this way. But when you're at this stage, I like to more or less like you're kind of scrubbing, like trying to get a grease spot off or something. So it really gets down in there and gets it. So, okay, and you see that got pretty dirty. So I'm not going to use this one again, because that's going to have all your dirt and grime you just got off on there. So you don't want to keep reapplying it on there. But never fear, you got a whole roll of it here. So, and this one's almost gone. They're pretty big when they're new. So now, like I said, I don't know how many sheets come on that brand new, but it's a lot. So, okay, so we got both sides clean there. We'll take the panel prep. We won't use the glass cleaner yet, because we're just going to be standing it here. So we'll just take this is 180 grit, remember? You just want to get some good deep scratches in this, so it gives that epoxy primer to something to adhere to. Make sure you get your edges really good. Those are the spots that are really give you problems. And I'll usually go, two directions. I'll go this way, and then I'll go the other way. That's all you're really trying to do in this stage, is get scratches in there for that to adhere on. So you're not trying to smooth anything out. Get rid of nibs. It will get rid of nibs, obviously, but you're not really trying to do any kind of body work. You're just giving the surface something for the epoxy primer to really bite into, to hang on. So that's why I like to use the 180 grit versus the 220. So I figure, the bigger the gouges I can put in there really is what it is, the better. So you have a gouge, you know, that's what the gouge looks like under a microscope, and then that epoxy primer can get in there and really grab onto both sides of those gouges. Okay, and then I'll go kind of this way. You can see it's pulling, you know, sanding dust has got more dirt and grease and grime in it. So making sure I'm getting those edges good. Okay, let's do the other side real quick. Obviously, if you have some like old, you peel the sticker off, you have some old sticker residue or anything like that, you want to get that off before you epoxy primer. So you won't get another chance after. Okay, and that's all you need right there. And we'll go ahead and we'll just gonna use this other rag just to wipe all that dust off. That old dirty rag I told you we're not going to use again. She's have to wipe all this dirt that got sanded up. And then we'll go, now this is going to be the important part when we clean now, because this is going to be the part where we clean before we apply the epoxy primer. So we want that to be really clean, free of dirt. So after I do this first one, I'm going to go grab me some rubber gloves. This will be a good time to put rubber gloves on so you don't get oil from your hands on your part. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab me some rubber gloves. Okay, I used to use, and I still kind of use these. I have a bunch of boxes from Harbor Freight, kind of these ones. I actually use prefer the 5 mil. Whoop, sorry, there we go. Yeah, I prefer the 5 mil than these 7 mil ones because they're thinner. But my father-in-law had a bunch of gloves he wasn't using anymore. So I took them. I said, yeah, I'll take them. I can always use them. And after I try them, I really like them. They're just these are actually from Walgreens. They're just exam gloves. You want to get your powder. You want to get powder free if you're going to do it, because you don't want powder, getting on your part. But I like these ones because they're nice and thin, and they're actually pretty durable for what we do. So, they'll tear once in a while, but they're cheap. I'm sure I haven't had to go buy any yet, but I would guarantee those are probably a lot cheaper than those are. So yeah, that's just the gloves I use. Put those to the side. Okay. Do another clean with this, and I usually do this until I can see I'm not pulling more dirt off the part. So now is where I'll kind of just do kind of directional wipes. So I'm not smearing dirt around, I'm pulling it off. It's getting probably pretty good, probably one more. So you see I folded this towel. Now I'll use the clean part I haven't used before, flip it over. And I'll be able to do the other side too because I kind of fold it. So there are going to be four parts to it. So pull this again. Kind of one direction, so you're not smearing the dirt around, you're actually pulling it off, and there we're pretty clean. Once we do so I'm gonna end up doing probably 2 cleanings with the glass cleaner too. So then, like I told you, like we did use those 2 sides, so then we'll just turn it kind of inside out. Then you have 2 more clean sides. We'll flip this over. I got some dirt on. Let's do this. Let's just take a piece of this and put it down so I don't keep. Okay. And then you can wash these too. I do that once in a while. I'll get a pile over there of dirty ones, and then I'll wash them. Depends on what I got them dirty with. If I'm dirty with paint, I won't. But these ones here, I'll put in a separate box I got over there that I just use for cleaning. That get too dirty to keep cleaning with, I'll throw them to the washer. Okay. More time. Okay, that's pretty clean there. Okay, so we'll do, just gonna clean with the glass cleaner now, and I'm probably gonna fast forward through that, so I won't talk, because I'll probably, when I cut this, I'll probably fast forward through all this. Okay, we're back. All right, just one quick note on the whole cleaning thing. Just look at it this way. If you're spending hundreds of dollars on other products and you're charging, say you're doing a motorcycle, you're charging, $2,000 plus for a paint job. The cleaning part's a small price to pay to make sure you come out with a good quality job. So, okay, enough on the cleaning thing. So we have here our disposable cup. Here's our liner, the cup itself. You have your lid with the filter in it, and you have the retaining ring. So, all right, we're going to mix this. On the instructions, it's 1-to-1. So we're going to go. Let's see. It has a 1-to-1 on it right here. So you can see right there. That's the first one, the 1-to-1. So we don't need very much on this. So we're going to fill the first part A up to the first one right there. And then we're going to put the part B into that second one. And that'll be our 1-to-1 ratio. And then we'll mix her up and we'll get the spray in it. So, okay, let's open the can here of we have here part A, epoxy primer sealer. Oh yeah, first, before I open it, I like to always give these a good shake. Okay. Clean this up. Here we go to the first one. Then we're going to get our part B, the epoxy primer sealer. This is the activator, the part B. And we're going to fill that up to the second one there. All right, right there. And that's our 1-to-1 ratio. We'll take our mixing stick, mix this together. And then your pot life on this after you mix the two together is 24 hours, it says on the can. Okay, we'll put our lid on. Make sure we're all snapped down. Retaining ring on. Okay, and we're ready to paint, to spray. We'll cut back and I'll show you spraying some coats on. Okay, well, there you go. That's spraying, how to mix and spray Lime Line's Epoxy Primer Sealer. You can see when I was the first coat I did, it was hard to see. I couldn't even see it spraying on, so I didn't think it was spraying on. I thought there was something wrong with my gun, but it was spraying on. I did 2 medium coats. So yeah, it turned out pretty good. It's still trying to dry a little bit. It's only I did this about, I don't know, 45 minutes ago. It's starting to dry up, but yeah, this is it. So pretty easy, pretty quick and easy to do. Good insurance to have if you're doing on bare metal or anything you think is kind of, might be an issue. Go ahead and use some epoxy primer. In my next video on this same hood here, I'm going to use some high build primer. So stay tuned for that next on this project, and then I'll see you on the next one.